Greetings Adventurers, this is Lorne, your Guild Advisor, back with a spoiler discussion, spoiler talk for Bottom-Tier Character Tomozaki Volume 4, Level 4 as they try to call the novels, through the series. By Yuki Yaku Sensei, illustrated by Fly, published by Yen Press, translated by Winifred Bird. And Yuzu is the cover girl this time, and I love her in this novel. She's my second favorite girl, I think. Like, I liked her a lot when she was introduced in the first novel, and then she didn't get too much time with Tomozaki. Like, their interactions were very far and in between in Volume 3, because the main point of that was to get her closer together with Nakamura. But she has a lot of interactions with Tomozaki here, and it's very appropriate that she is the cover girl for this novel. So, current rankings for me: Fuka, Yuzu. So it's gonna be right here. Hopefully that book stays, because I don't want to cover Fuka just yet. But man, Yaku Sensei, he keeps liking my stuff. I keep tweeting about Tomozaki, and I purposely put in like hashtag Tomozaki or hashtag tomozaki-kun in Japanese on Twitter, and he finds my tweets and likes them. Makes me feel good. We just gotta keep tweeting out Tomozaki and keep spreading it out so Tomozaki gets more popular. It should be getting an anime. It was confirmed for one. It might not be happening this year. I think it was planned for this year, but because of COVID, I wouldn't be shocked if it were delayed till next year. And if that does happen, I just want all the time and effort possible to be put into making that anime adaptation of Tomozaki as good as it can be, so Tomozaki becomes more and more popular, because Tomozaki isn't that well known in the West, especially because there is no anime adaptation. I think some people read the manga, but I think they're just scanlations right now. So spread the word. If you like Tomozaki, go spread the word. But let's talk about Volume 4. And of course, I'll be talking about my favorite scenes, what I thought about the novel in its entirety. And I'm surely going to miss some stuff that you guys want to talk about, so feel free to get into the discussion in the comments. Note what were your favorite moments or your favorite characters and their scenes in this, because there are a lot of scenes in here, and it's not all focused on Tomozaki, really. Like, he does get new assignments from Hinami, but a lot of the spotlight, for me at least, are for the other characters that Tomozaki's interacting with and how they develop rather than himself in this novel. And it's appropriate because he developed a lot last time. He's not going to develop too much in Volume 4, and we're also getting ready for Tama-chan to develop later on in the next novel due to how this one ends. So we come into this volume from Volume 3 where Tomozaki gets that revelation. He decides to try to tackle assignments but also live in the way he wants to by enjoying life, not treating like goals and people as milestones on his way to becoming a top-tier character like Hinami. Like, he doesn't want him to confess to Fuka and that to not be based on genuine feelings. He feel very wrong in doing that. And come on, that was like, just do it. It's so obvious. It's so obvious. Fuka, please. Anyway, so we open up the scene with Hinami and Tomozaki with his newfound resolve, and he gets a new assignment, and that is to mutually share secrets between someone else. And at first I'm like, hasn't he technically done that? Because he's told Fuka about like trying to improve, like level up his skills. He talked about like wearing a mask and everything, having conversation cards. I guess maybe that just doesn't count because Misuzawa already figured that out. His sister figured it out, so it doesn't count. But with that new assignment, I don't think he actually made any progress towards that in this novel, because so much happens in this novel. I don't think he actually learned any secrets this time. So that's still something in his track. And then of course he still needs to get a girlfriend before the start of his 3rd year, and we all have someone in mind. But finally he's ordered to just start observing the classroom, like see who's talking, why they talk, who makes the decisions, what are the groups and everything. Just see how people converse so he can use his skills in a way that matches how everyone else uses their conversational skills. And of course, Hinami just continues to tease him, freaking talking into his ear, making him all bothered. But because of Tomozaki's newfound resolve, it's really funny with their dynamic, because now Hinami's like, is this assignment okay? He's like, yeah, that's fine. That aligns with my goals. Really funny that Hinami's like, I gotta check, is this okay? And of course, there's that fun scene when he's going to the classroom for the first time since summer vacation, and he's wondering if he's like allowed to get into the Nakamura group because, like, well, that was just one barbecue trip, maybe it wasn't that big of a deal. And after just a bit of banter between Nakamura and Take, Nakamura steps to the side. Like, it's just the most natural thing in the world for Tomozaki to get into the group. And oh, what an awesome moment. Like, what a payoff from Volume 3. It's so cool. Like, Nakamura, the big tough guy, doesn't always like try to communicate his feelings really well, and you see what a struggle it is for him later on in this volume, but he's letting in Tomozaki, and it's just so cool seeing that very subtle progress that Tomozaki's making. And we have one of those cute Izumi scenes. We find out that Hinami did indeed tell Yuzu what the purpose of the barbecue trip was, to get Nakamura and Izumi closer together. And because Tomozaki knows that, he's able to just tease Izumi, which is really funny and fun. I love their dynamic. It's just so, it's precious because, and I like it a lot because you know Izumi's not like gonna be part of the Tomozaki harem. Like, she's not a candidate for it because she likes Nakamura and ends up with Nakamura at the end of this volume. So their relationship, Izumi and Tomozaki, like, first and foremost, it's like mentor and apprentice because of Adafami, but it's just kind of precious that he has like this friend, and we know that there's not going to be romantic developments between them, and they're just being able to casually converse with each other, and it happens throughout the course of this novel. And she makes Tomozaki nervous because she gets teased about her love life, and then she turns that question back on him, like, what about you? Is there anyone you like? What's your romantic life like right now? Tomozaki's like, oh god, like, I mean, I do have someone in mind, but I don't want to talk about this right now. And then Mimimi comes out of nowhere. It's like, hey guys, are you talking about sex? Like, dear Lord, Mimimi. Oh my gosh, Mimimi is just a bundle of energy and a very enjoyable character. I know she's a big fan favorite, and I think she's gonna have more, judging by the covers of the light novels. Like, I don't think it's much of a spoiler to look into the like covers of the light novels forward, but she should be in for a good novel later on, I would think, just judging by how the covers are going. And of course, Mimimi would know what Tama-chan's body wash normally smells like. And that's when they start trying to choose captains for the school sports festival tournament. And Take, of course, is like, I'm the guy, let me be it. And then we meet the antagonist for this volume, and probably the next volume as well, Erika Kono. She is, Izumi is part of her group, like, they're friends, but Erika, man, she's something. Queen bee in the classroom, she's something. And here it is, like, Izumi progressing as a person. Like, she saw how Tomozaki stood up to Erika in volume 1, and then she's trying to progress herself, like, I don't want to just go with the mood. And then she goes against Erika when she says, I don't want to be captain right now. And then Erika tries to pass that on to someone else, Hirabayashi-san, and then that creates a big problem later. But let's get into Nakamura, because after school, Nakamura, like, almost like kidnaps Tomozaki, like, we're going to the arcade, and then Tomozaki's pretty much in his element at an arcade, just constantly destroying Nakamura at anything. And Nakamura, like, everyone's like, come on, we gotta go. And then Nakamura wants to stay, and then we later find out that there's trouble at home right now. And we had some inkling of that in volume 3, so I like how Yaku sensei is like slowly feeding us information that becomes relevant later, and this is very much later from volume 3 into volume 4, and he's staying home because of a fight with his mom. We later find out that one of those problems is him playing too much Adafami, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, this might be partly Tomozaki's fault for beating Nakamura and him being like obsessed with trying to beat Tomozaki. That's really funny. But again, more precious Izumi just trying to do her best. And while all this is happening, like, they're trying to figure out how to get Nakamura back to school because he's not showing back up because of that fight with his mother. And Tomozaki's able to, like, and this is the thing that Hinami is trying to get Tomozaki to do, be able to read the mood and then also change the mood with his skills. And he's able to do that because of his, like, relationship with Izumi. He's just like, yo, we want to do this. We want to help Nakamura. And then Hinami's like, well, we can't do that unless he asked for it. And Tomozaki is able to convince Hinami with Izumi that they do start making preparations to help Nakamura. And it's so funny that Hinami can't do anything against that tag team of Tomozaki and Izumi. And of course, in the middle of all this business with Nakamura and trying to get him back, we also have that assignment from Hinami to change the mood of Erika Kono and her group to wanting to actively participate in the school sports tournament. And how do we do that? And Tomozaki like turns this into pretty much an RPG. I gotta talk to the NPCs because I can't do this by myself. I gotta do some info gathering. So he talks to Izumi, gets some info from her, and then talks to Sugimi, Gumi-chan, from his work. I'm like, I was wondering about that from volume 3. I'm like, towards the end of volume 3, he like, I almost thought he might have like skipped work accidentally because we know that he like kind of secluded himself back at home. Like I was kind of worried about that, but like there's no way that we would introduce this working element and then just throw it away. And of course, we get that conversation with Gumi-chan. She calls herself the authority on apathy. Talk to me if you want to learn about apathy. Planet apathy, while Tomozaki's from planet effort. And it's kind of funny to think that, but it does make sense because Tomozaki made a ton of effort towards Arafami, and now he's taking that same level of effort, that same Nanashi approach, and applying that to real life. So it does make sense that he's from planet effort, if you will. And during this exchange with Gumi-chan, Tomozaki likens it to like asking a lizardman how to deal with the dragon, which is hilarious. I like that little analogy with gaming. And man, Gumi-chan is lazy. Like she's making Tomozaki pretty much do everything, and he busts her butt for it too. Like he calls her out, and it's okay because that's the kind of girl she is. Like she can take that kind of teasing. But Tomozaki finds out that in order to convince Erika to do something, there needs to be an incentive, especially if she has to make an effort towards something. So that's the thing he learns from Gumi-chan, and then we gotta learn something else from Fuka. And man, I even like the scene between his sister, Tomozaki's sister, and Tomozaki. Like his sister like told him, like, if a girl is gonna go out there and like personally ask for you to go with her, you need to treasure her. And Tomozaki's like, yeah, Fuka is special to me. And I think you guys know how much I like Fuka from my reactions to volume 3. Oh my gosh, and how she's my favorite girl now. And anytime Fuka's in a scene, Tomozaki like puts her on some pedestal, like Fuka's super special, she's this saintly presence. And the scene where they get together after work, like, oh, it something like as small and subtle as that just speaks so much to how their relationship has progressed from volume 1 to now in volume 4. It's so cool. And of course Tomozaki's like, oh god, where do I eat? Where do we eat? I don't know. We've been here before. I don't know if that's appropriate. And then Hinami for this save, like, my lord, Tomozaki, you should be fine. You should be relaxed around Fuka. Calm down. She accepts you for who you are. And I love this when they sit down in that cafe that Hinami suggests. He sees the Mona Lisa and then he says, Fuka's smile is more beautiful than the Mona Lisa's. I don't know why, but I just found that funny and endearing at the same time. And that's where Tomozaki learns what Erika is afraid of. She's afraid of being looked down on. She wants the class to see her as someone in the upper echelon in the social standing of the group, of the class. And again, characters beyond Tomozaki progressing themselves. We have Fuka saying that she wants to improve as well. And she like has like this girlish smile, and then Tomozaki's like, I want to be there to help her. I shipped him so much. And then there's that other scene between the two of them where Tomozaki goes to the library, and oh my gosh, like again, another precious scene where he describes like, it's not like Fuka was there sitting in the library. It's like the library was built around her. And then he in his mind he thanks Fuka's parents for giving birth to her. Like, my god, Tomozaki, like, we gotta progress this. We gotta progress this romantic development between you two right now. But there are other things happening in this novel. We go back to Izumi and Nakamura. Nakamura's still not coming home. And that's when they decide to try to like convince Nakamura's mom that Arafami is not a problem. That's not what's causing his grades to go down. So naturally, what we should do is study for the new math quiz. And of course, Tomozaki is surrounded by Izumi because she's struggling with math, and they have that one study session, but it's not enough, and Tomozaki convinces Hinami to do another one later in the evening at a cafe. And of course, it's Izumi and Hinami pass, but of course Tomozaki's the one that does. Like, my lord, dude, of course. I almost like had a feeling that would happen too, and it's hilarious that he's the one that ends up like failing. Not failing, 85 is not a fail, but it's not enough to convince anyone. But Nakamura comes back to school, and it's not because of like, we convinced the mom with these tests. It's because Nakamura noticed how hard Izumi was trying to get Nakamura back. Like, are you silly? Really? You studied math to try and get me back, but he came back anyway. Hey. And then Tomozaki tries to use like Nakamura coming back as a way of saying to Hinami, like, look, see, we did what we wanted, and then he came back. It's like almost like a shortcut. And Hinami's like, well, yes, but I had a different goal from just directly bringing Nakamura back. My goal was to convince the mom, and what you did was basically find a shortcut. So if I wanted just to bring Nakamura back, of course I would use Izumi. And Tomozaki's like, oh, come on, I can't win anything. But yes, Tomozaki needs to find a way to show Hinami that following your heart is something that's like not just the efficient thing, but also gets like bigger results than what Hinami can do by doing other things. Like, you need to produce results that I could not get. I know I've been talking about Izumi a lot, but this is her novel, dang it. And she's like, you know what I want to do? I do want to help Hirabayashi-san, so I will take that captain role because it's something I want to do. I want to help her. And because of that, Tomozaki is able to enact that like three-pronged attack where he can't just get Erika's group to get into the sports tournament with just one thing. So he has to use like multiple smaller things, but still accomplish that goal of getting them interested in participating. So with Izumi as captain, and then her like being excited for the sports festival, wanting to do well, she is Erika's friend, so Erika does want to help Izumi. And then we have Tomozaki controlling Hinami, like, I'll let you use me as long as I'm not the one deciding things. So Tomozaki tells Hinami exactly what to do. So Hinami is basically trying to pump everyone up and get the expectations for the class. So Erika, who doesn't want to be seen as lesser to Hinami, is like, okay, maybe I should. And then the final nail in the coffin is knowing that Erika likes Nakamura, and this is going to be a problem later on. I could see that coming from a mile away, but because she likes Nakamura, we got to convince Erika that Nakamura likes a sporty girl. And man, who does that describe? Izumi? Yes, Izumi. But we do end up getting Erika interested. They do softball, and oh man, basketball is like probably my favorite sport that I don't actually actively play, but I enjoy watching basketball stuff. And man, I wish I got more of the basketball, but Tomozaki just all I can do is layups right now, which is funny. And man, if this was like any other light novel, Tomozaki would have made that final layup, but that wouldn't be realistic for someone to just learn how to do them. And of course, later on during the tournament, Nakamura just completely destroys the opponents in that final round that decides their class winning. Like, why does Nakamura have to do like a buzzer beater 3 when they're already ahead by like over 10 points? Like, okay, give him the shonen ending for no reason. Gosh, like, this is what you're up against, Tomozaki. If you want to get to the pedestal where Nakamura is, you gotta improve. And this is like one of the things I mentioned from Volume 3. I'm like, well, he's improving his social skills, but if he wants to reach a place where Hinami is and like competes against her, doesn't he need to improve his athletics and his academics? I mean, we actually see a little bit of both of that here with that math quiz and then basketball right here. But he does gain the respect of Tachibana from the basketball team. He's like, hey, you're actually easy to talk to. And then after that tournament win, oh my gosh, like this feels good, especially after Volume 3, where the entire crew just tails Izumi and Nakamura, like, geez, give him some privacy. But they tail him, and then we see Nakamura like, okay, wanna go out with me? In like the most Nakamura way possible. And Izumi's like, that's not good enough. I need you. I need to hear that you like me too. And then she gets him to do it, like, and it's even stated here, like, everyone's like gasping, trying to like, calm down, and then they all cheer after Izumi and Nakamura leave, and it's like stated that Mizuzawa is the happiest about this, and Tomozaki like notes that. And remember, like, Mizuzawa also like had some resolve from Volume 3. Like, I don't want to just be like controlling a character. I want to enjoy this role too. Like, he talks about how Nakamura and Izumi are dumb, and then how like Tomozaki's like a smart dumb, and like, I want to be like that too. He's happy that Nakamura and Izumi made it work out. He's happy these two idiot friends of his got together, and like, I want something like that, and I'm glad to see that it actually works. And that's when we get to the final part of the novel, where the consequences of Nakamura and Izumi ending up together come together, and also how easy of a target Hirabayashi is. So we have basically Erika bullying Hirabayashi, and it's becoming a problem. And Hinami is not making any moves to stop this because Hirabayashi does not want to change. So says Hinami. Like, maybe she doesn't want to change, but that doesn't mean it's like blaming the victim. It's like, come on, Hinami, really? You're gonna blame Hirabayashi for getting abused? Like, are you serious? It reaches to like a breaking point for Tomozaki where he can't stand watching this. And even though like Izumi's trying to help out, like trying to talk to Hirabayashi every now and then when Erika's not looking, like, oh my god. Again, Izumi, awesome character in this volume. But again, Tomozaki reaches a breaking point and he can't take this anymore. But before he can do anything, Tama-chan, of course, her bluntness, she just straight up calls Erika out, and unfortunately, she becomes the target of Erika's abuse afterwards. And then things escalate from there, and basically the classroom is becoming this awkward place where no one can talk in a loud voice, and some people are even blaming Tama-chan for just countering back to Erika, like, let Erika just have her way until she gets tired, and then Tama is not going to have any of it. And it's becoming this big issue where Mimimi has to protect Tama-chan, and then Hinami tries to like calm down the mood. And there's this interesting thing with Hinami, like, even though like this goes against, like Tomozaki points this out inside his mind, like, doesn't this go against what you told me before, Hinami? Like, you said Hirabayashi doesn't want to change, so you won't help her, but she still wants to help Tama-chan, even though Tama is not really willing to change. So there's some kind of contradiction there, like what's going on with Hinami right now. And you have that small scene where Mimimi, Tama-chan, and Tomozaki walk back from school together, and Mimimi and Tomozaki like send Tama off because they like go to the same station, live around the same area. And Mimimi is like asking Tomozaki, like, am I doing okay? And again, like another like little subtle character moment where, you know, between what happened with Mimimi and Tomozaki in Volume 2, you know that Mimimi places a certain degree of trust in Tomozaki. So it's cool seeing that relationship just develop a little bit further, a little bit more between the two of them. Like, it's so interesting, and I'm wondering like how the series is going to progress. Like, Tomozaki's getting closer to all these people, and he's like making genuine connections because he wants to make them. And I feel like at some point, actually, let's just move into Tama-chan real quick, because this is the end of the novel, but we reach a point where Tomozaki thinks there's like 3 ways that this could go. Like, Erika just gets tired of it, Tama stops trying to counter Erika, or Hinami successfully changes the mood of the class against Erika. But he tries to go about that weird 4th way. I'm like, there's no way that's gonna work. But he wants, like, if I just want to focus on Tama-chan not getting hurt, then maybe we should just ask her to stay home while the mood calms down without you there. But of course, Tama just blows that out of the way in pure Tama-chan fashion. And she's like, Hinami said that you're a lot like me, how we both speak our thoughts. And then Tomozaki's like asking, like, why are you okay with this? And I love this line because it reminds me of a certain line in March Comes in Like a Lion, one of my favorite anime, where she said she's fine from all this abuse, from all this bullying, because she knows she's right. And just knowing that you're right means so much, because sometimes when people like abuse you, you might think like maybe I did something wrong, but Tama-chan knows that she didn't do anything wrong, that she is in the right, so she's able to take that frame of mind and just keep pushing on. But even despite that, she asked Tomozaki to help her change the way he did, because she's noticed that Tomozaki's changing as a person as well, and she wants to make a similar change, like in her approach to people, I guess. So at the end of this volume, it's pretty much a cliffhanger. Like, how is Tomozaki going to mentor Tama-chan. And volume 1, 2, and 3 were pretty much all contained stories that progressed in chronological order, obviously, but volume 4, like, this is the first time we're getting like an arc that takes place over the course of multiple novels, and I'm assuming that volume 5 will be the closure to a 2-novel arc, because Tama-chan is indeed the cover girl for that book with volume 5. So very curious on how this is going to work out, because Tomozaki hasn't been learning like that long. It's only been 3 volumes. Like, okay, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna teach you, Tama-chan? So it's gonna be so interesting to see how that unfolds in volume 5, and how they combat Erika Kono. I guess she still stays the antagonist, and how Hinami's gonna feel about all this, because she said that Tama-chan didn't need to change, but here we have Tama-chan wanting to change. So I'm wondering how Hinami's gonna react to all of this. And again, with how Hinami views life and how Tomozaki views life, I'm so curious on how that's gonna work out, like, for the series as a whole, because I almost feel like Tomozaki is about to make his own faction of people, like, trying to genuinely like live the way they want. Like, Izumi's probably in there, Tama-chan's about to be in there, Fuka's definitely in there. And again, interested in how this Fuka stuff's gonna work, because come on, I mean, it's so obvious, right, that Tomozaki likes Fuka, and Fuka probably likes Tomozaki. Like, how is this gonna work? I want to see that progress, but we got a lot of Hanabi Tama-chan to get into with volume 5, so we'll just see how all these relationships progress. But I love, like, all the character development that happens in volume 4. It's like, it's not even really focused around Tomozaki as much as Izumi, Tama at the end. You see a little bit of Fuka, Nakamura. Like, it's like everyone around them right now, and it's so cool seeing characters besides the main character get so much attention and progression as characters. And that's why I like this series a lot. And remember, Tomozaki Volume 5 comes out on November 17th, so only 3 months away, which is weirdly, like, that's kind of a fast pace for Yen Press, but these are shorter books than I'm used to. I'm used to reading Danmachi, and right now those novels are huge. And these Tomozaki novels are only about 200 pages each, so I can see them getting one out in 3 months. But more Tomozaki is more good for us. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this spoiler discussion for Tomozaki Volume 4. Again, voice your thoughts on the novel down below in the comments. What were your favorite moments, your favorite characters? What are your best girl rankings right now? Mine is Fuka, then Izumi, then probably Mimi? Yeah, in that order. And again, thank you so much for watching this video, and spread the good word of Tomozaki. Point people to my video where I say, like, try this light novel out, try out Tomozaki. It's a great series. If you guys are watching this spoiler discussion of Volume 4, I'm sure you agree. And hopefully the anime gets it super popular, because I love it a lot. I think you guys too. And I just want it to succeed in the West, especially. Like, get this series noticed. Anyway, if you want to see more light novel content, go ahead, like the video, sub to the channel, follow me on Twitter, and join the Discord. And as always, this is Lorne, your guild advisor, signing out.